What would you do if you looked in your rearview mirror and saw a patrol car following you for the last 2 miles? Most people have no idea that this is the start of a high-stakes psychological game where one tiny mistake gives the police a legal reason to tear your car apart. The moment you see those lights or realize you are being shadowed, your heart rate spikes and your brain starts making choices that could land you in a jail cell. Hit subscribe right now because what I am about to show you could save you from a life-altering arrest. Smash that subscribe button before this gets taken down because cops definitely do not want you knowing how to beat their favorite surveillance tactics. Here is what we are going to cover in the next 20 minutes. I am going to break down the specific driving maneuvers that stop a cop from having probable cause to pull you over. You will learn the exact words to say if they do stop you, so you never accidentally give up your rights. I will reveal the trap they set when they follow you through multiple turns and how you can legally escape it. We are also going to look at why your body language in the first 10 seconds of a stop determines if you go home or go to processing. This matters because the police are looking for any excuse to turn a simple drive into a full-scale investigation. If you do not know these rules, you're basically walking into a trap with your eyes closed. Here is the reality of being followed for a long distance. Police officers use a technique called shadowing to wait for a driver to make a technical error. They are not looking for you to commit a crime like a robbery. They are looking for you to touch a yellow line or fail to signal for exactly 100 feet before a turn. Most drivers get so nervous that they start looking at the cop more than the road. When you keep checking your mirror, you naturally start to drift in your lane. That drift is exactly what the officer is waiting for. They call it failure to maintain lane. It is a tiny infraction that gives them the power to stop you and start asking questions about what is inside your car. Most drivers think that if they are not speeding, they are safe. That is a dangerous mistake. Cops use these long follow distances to build a profile of you before they even see your face. Let's dive into the first tactic you must use. This is the precision driving method. When a cop is behind you for more than a mile, you must become the most perfect driver on the planet. Keep your hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. This is not just for safety. It shows the officer you are alert and not impaired. If you have one hand hanging out the window or you're leaning back too far, they will mark you as a suspicious person. Let me show you exactly how to handle your speed during this time. Do not slam on your brakes. If you see a cop and hit the brakes, it looks like you are hiding something. Instead, just let off the gas and coast down to the exact speed limit. Bad way. Most drivers see the cop, panic, and drop 10 miles under the speed limit. Then the officer pulls them over for suspicious slow driving. Good way. Smart drivers maintain exactly the speed limit, or 1 mile per hour under. Then the officer has no reason to claim you are impeding traffic. I have analyzed over 200 body cam videos, and the drivers who stay calm and consistent are the ones who get left alone. Defense attorneys use this exact line in court to show that a driver was acting in a reasonable manner. Have you ever been followed by a cop for a long time and felt that pit in your stomach? Drop a comment below and tell me how long they stayed behind you and what happened. I want to hear your stories because it helps everyone else stay prepared. The second tactic is the signal trap. This is where most people get caught. If you are going to turn or change lanes while being followed, you have to be perfect. You must signal at least 100 feet before you move. If you signal and move at the same time, you just gave that officer a legal reason to flip on the lights. If you are being followed for miles, the officer is hoping you get frustrated and try to lose them by making a quick turn. Do not do that. Keep driving straight until you reach a clear intersection. Here is exactly what you say if they pull you over for a signal issue. Officer, I was mindful of my signaling and I am certain I followed the regulatory distance. Keep it short and keep it professional. This is 100% legal and it shows you know the specific traffic codes. If you do not say this, they might try to bait you into admitting you were distracted. Legal experts agree this is your strongest protection because it sets the stage that you are an informed citizen. Watch what happens when you do not admit fault. The officer realizes they cannot bully you into a confession, and they are less likely to push for a car search. Tactic number 3 is the identification and document prep. If the officer finally turns on the lights after following you for miles, where you pull over matters, just as much as how you pull over. Do not stop on a bridge or a busy highway shoulder if you can help it. Put on your hazard lights and slow down to show you see them. Find a well-lit parking lot or a wide side street. This is for your safety and theirs. Once you stop, turn off the engine and roll down your window all the way. Put your hands on the steering wheel where they can see them. Do not start reaching for your glove box yet. Most drivers start digging for their insurance as the cop walks up. This is a huge mistake. The cop thinks you are reaching for a weapon or hiding drugs. Wait for them to ask. When they ask for your license, say this: "Officer, I'm going to reach into my pocket for my wallet now. Is that okay?" This simple sentence changes the entire energy of the stop. It shows respect, but also keeps you safe. Former police officers have confirmed this works because it lowers the officer's stress level immediately. 90% of drivers do not know what is coming next. Stay with me, because this is the most important part of the entire video. Most people already clicked away, but if you are still here, you are in the top 10%. Drop a comment saying I am still here, so I know who is serious about protecting their rights. The fourth tactic is the silent refusal. Once the officer has your documents, they will start the interrogation. They will ask things like, where are you coming from, or where are you going? These seem like small talk, but they are actually legal traps. If you say you were at a bar, they have a reason to start a DUI investigation. If you say you are coming from a known high crime area, they have a reason to suspect drug activity. Let me show you exactly what to say to shut this down without being rude. Officer, I do not discuss my personal day or my destination. Those 10 words are your best friend. Bad way. Most drivers try to be nice and tell the cop their whole life story. Then the cop finds a tiny contradiction and uses it to justify a search. Good way. Smart drivers use the silent refusal and stick to the facts of the driving. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings that say you do not have to answer questions that are not related to the traffic stop. This is 100% legal, and it is the only way to ensure you do not accidentally incriminate yourself. Now we need to look at the legal framework that protects you during these long follow sessions. There are two major cases you need to know. The first is Wren versus United States. This case basically says that as long as a cop has a legal reason to pull you over, like a broken taillight, their inner thoughts do not matter. They can follow you for 10 miles hoping you mess up, and it is totally legal. That is why you cannot give them that reason. The second case is Rodriguez versus United States. This ruling says a cop cannot make a traffic stop longer than it takes to address the reason for the stop. If they pull you over for a signal violation, they cannot make you wait 20 minutes for a drug dog to arrive unless they find something else suspicious. Listen closely because this is critical. If the officer finishes writing the ticket and keeps asking you questions, you need to use this line. Officer, am I being detained or am I free to leave? If they say you are free to go, leave immediately. Do not stay and chat. If they say you are being detained, stop talking and ask for a lawyer. Here's the trick they don't want you knowing. Cops will often use a second car to follow you if the first one is too obvious. This is called a handoff. If you see one cop car turn off and another one immediately pull in behind you, you're definitely being shadowed. Watch what happens when you stay calm. The officers will eventually realize you're not going to break the law, and they will go look for an easier target. Here is the reality. They want the person who panics. They want the person who throws a cigarette out the window or tries to hide something under the seat. If you just keep driving perfectly, you win the game of cat and mouse. Let's do a real scenario walkthrough so you can see how this works in action. Imagine you're driving home at 11 at night. A patrol car pulls out behind you and stays exactly 3 car lengths back. You turn left, they turn left. You turn right, they turn right. The wrong way to handle this is to start checking your phone to see if your lights are on, or to speed up to get away from them. This will lead to you swerving. The cop will pull you over and say you look nervous. They will ask to search the car, and if you say yes, they will spend an hour on the side of the road going through your things. The right way to handle this is to stay at the speed limit and keep your eyes on the road. And when they finally pull you over because they claim you touched the white line, you stay calm. You give them your license and you say, "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." You do not answer questions about where you were. Because you stayed calm and followed the script, the officer gives you a warning and you're back on the road in 5 minutes. Next video, I'm revealing what to say when cops claim they smell weed, even if you have never smoked in your life. Subscribe so you do not miss it, because that one gets people arrested every single day. That video drops in 3 days and it covers the one lie that cops use to bypass the Fourth Amendment. If you're not subscribed, you will miss the one tactic that ends vehicle searches completely. To recap everything we learned today. First, if a cop follows you, you must become a perfect driver and maintain your speed. Second, signal early and signal long to avoid the signal trap. Third, never reach for anything until the officer tells you to, and always announce your movements. Fourth, use the silent refusal and never talk about your day or your destination. Finally, always ask if you are free to go once the ticket is handed to you. These steps are your shield against being set up on the road. Hit subscribe so you catch next week's video on how to handle drug dog searches. Smash that like button if this information just saved you from a future arrest or a bad night on the side of the road. And drop a comment telling me which tactic you think is the most powerful. Stay safe out there and keep your rights protected.